Good morning, Queenie. And we're excited to talk to you because sometimes kung may natikma kaming masarap na food, and then we're impressed with the food, we really wanted to know the story behind the food. But I believe kasi a lot of the good food that we have here is because of the food entrepreneur. So I know you just started Salmon HQ during this quarantine. Maybe can you, before we get into the discussion of Salmon HQ, how did you guys started para people will have a background on Salmon HQ?
Well, both my husband and I were avid sushi lovers, sashimi lovers. Sometimes kasi when you go into a Japanese restaurant, you order salmon sashimi, you get around 5 slices for roughly 450 to 500 bucks. It's a little steep. Um we wanted to give value for money for the sashimis. We started with a few years back. We started with our family gatherings. We served sashimis. It was a hit. They really loved it. So before we were already thinking how to do it, but since both of us were quite busy with our work, we didn't have time to pursue it. But now that we had 2 months to sit and wait, and then the bill started coming in, so we had to think of a way, and then we actually pursued this dream.
So what do you guys do? Are you
My
into food na rin before or?
no, my husband's into footwear, and I'm into clothing, so uh, far from now. So
Oo.
it's really a trial and error thing, also.
Okay. And then how's the fashion industry affected ba? Or clothing, I guess.
Well,
With the
it's really affected. No one's really going to the mall to buy clothes or shoes. Everybody's at work from home, so they could just wear whatever they want. For the footwear, it's really, really very bad. Um, so the
wala na
fashion in yeah,
nagsasapatos.
wala eh. Everybody's just wearing slippers at home. And then also in the garments, nobody's really buying new clothes. They just recycle it.
Oo, yes. Exactly. All right. So we'll talk about Salmon HQ. To those watching, we're talking to Queenie Uy about Salmon HQ, about the salmon cakes. Of course, let's talk about sushi bakes. And if you have any questions, you want to join our discussion, if you're watching this in the replay, please put your comments or questions in the comment section. All right. All right. Thank you. And we're here talking to and thank you for all right, Queenie.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited to talk to you. And maybe talk about sushi. I know you said already you guys are sushi. Saan magaling yung mga salmon or tuna and how did you guys figure out to set this up? Kasi I know it's very hard to shift raw products, di ba? Even during this quarantine. And maybe can you talk about the ano muna, the fish and if you have a fish there, maybe you can show us saan ba galing yon, etc.
Our salmon comes from Norway and Chile. Well, it comes frozen already because freezing is not really a bad process. It's a process to help maintain the quality of the fish. So when the fisherman actually catches it, they freeze it at once in their boat so that when they ship it around the world, it's still fresh and it still has that quality of the juiciness, the freshness of the fish. I actually have one here to show
Oo.
everybody.
So is that so that's how big the salmon
Yeah,
is
this is
that
actually a small one. This is actually quite small one. We had much bigger ones pa.
okay, so sino nagsaslice, kayo na nagsaslice?
I actually slice it myself, and I also have a staff who helped me for
Wow,
me to do the.
natuto ka nila. Wait, can I take a photo of you holding the salmon? Para,
Oh,
okay. One. One, two. Yan, yan. Okay, one, two. Okay, all right. Thank you. So, how's it so far during the quarantine? Maybe, can you tell us how did you guys started this out in last March, and then, di ba it's raw? Paano? How did the people started to accept ordering, sushi, sashimi from you guys?
I found a really good supplier whose main business is really bringing in the salmon fish from Norway and from Chile. So we get it from them. So it's really safe. They handle it very well. So when it comes here to our house, we sanitize the boxes, we clean it, and then we also prepare the fish in a very clean and safe environment. And then when there's an order coming in, that's the time when we start cutting the fish, slicing, and cleaning it. We don't really process it that much when there's no order, as to maintain the freshness of it.
And then, how do you deliver it? Did
Oh,
people, ano
um,
ba yan? Parang, hindi ka ba laging naka-question na kung okay ba yung ma-deliver o hindi?
well, from the start, it was quite difficult because we also didn't know how to serve it to everyone if they would accept eating raw food na at this time. But
Oo.
we actually believe in our product that it's actually safe, it's very clean. We process it in a very hygienic and safe environment also. And when we deliver and pack it, we put it in a box. We cling wrap it actually and double bag it so that when the riders pick it up and deliver to our clients, they can actually throw the first bag and just get the food from the second bag.
So meron siyang ice. You serve it
Yes,
with that.
we also put lots of ice inside para pagdating niya dun sa at your home, it's really fresh. It maintains the quality of the fish. Hindi yung parang ano na siya yung naluluma na yun
Oo.
parang, matagal nang nakalabas.
Oo. And how many hours in delivery usually?
Usually our depends also eh. Yung customers namin meron din malalayo eh. We actually had
Mm-mm.
one customer who's in Isabela.
Yeah.
We it's like 10 hours of drive. We packed it in a styro box, put lots of ice with salt. It arrived at their house very fresh pa.
Oh, wow.
It actually
Okay.
depends on where the customer lives, and then we pack it according to their location. So when it
Okay.
arrives there, it's still fresh.
Okay. I know that this is the top actually when there was a lockdown. People were craving about sushi and sashimi. That's the number one request
Oh,
that people miss. Did you notice that, ba? Or
I actually didn't know about it.
ah,
It's just that we really wanted, my husband really wanted to eat sashimi. So
ah, ang
kind of
galing
went,
nga. Akala ko ginawa niyo because you know that that was the number one craving.
my husband was craving it.
Oo. Okay. And then, how did you handle, di ba, there was this news na nagka-second wave sa China because of salmon in the
Yeah.
salmon market. Did that affect this entire business or hindi?
Actually, it didn't. The news from China, they were saying it was from the salmon fish, but actually, the virus was from a stall in the market that their chopping boards or their knives were like contaminated with it. So when they were cutting the fish, they contaminated the product also. But for like Norwegian salmon or like Chilean salmon, it's really safe to eat.
Oo.
Actually,
So,
we had a lot of customers that are also doctors who order from us. So when the news came out, we were quite surprised that we thought that there was no orders gonna come in anymore. But then the doctors started ordering from us. Oh, so they think that it's really safe.
oh, it's really safe. Now, okay, let's go to the most viral product, the salmon cake. Can you tell us how did you so we'll show the photo. So paano niyo naisip yung salmon cake? How did you guys thought about the salmon cake and the story of it?
Um, well, we really wanted to make rolls like California Makis and other rolls, but we didn't have the manpower and the time to make it because it's quite tiring to do it, and you need a little bit of skill for that and time. So our main product was the salmon. We wanted to make it like a showstopper, like a roll, but not into a roll, and to bring it to a different level. So we decided to make a salmon cake where you can enjoy the premium cut salmon sashimi together with Japanese rice and the filling inside our salmon cake. We wanted to make it enjoyable also inside, not just full of sushi rice. So we combined the wakame, some the seaweed. It's like sweet, silky, a little briny, and then we added the spicy salmon to give it some a little spice, a little contrast to the sashimi, and then we added the ebiko and some the kani. So when you dig inside of it, you get different tastes, you get contrast, the flavors. It's like exploring inside the cake.
Oo.
You get a lot of different tastes.
So saan yun where did you get the idea?
Um, I was actually toying with the idea of I was actually trying to make it for several months already, but I couldn't quite get the look that I wanted. And then
Okay.
when I was just browsing at some flower shops, flower stores, and then I saw, oh, oh, maybe I can make the salmon into like a rose, a big rose on top.
Okay.
Okay. That's where I got it.
Ang
Because
galing,
yung first kasi I made it like flat lang. It's like
Oo.
flat on top. So parang I feel like parang wala siyang dating masyado. And then parang it's not that inviting. And I wanted to be the salmon to be the main star of the cake.
Okay.
But
Do you have competitor in this space or it is somebody who would do it outside the Philippines?
I'm not sure. I'm not really sure.
Oo, ang galing ang galing Um, Actually, how many grams of salmon yan? Or how many pieces of
The
salmon?
salmon cake is 600 grams of salmon.
Wow, ang dami.
Yeah,
Ang
it's a
dami.
lot. It's a lot. So you get to enjoy the sashimi.
Oo. What surprised us was the one, yung laman niya sa loob eh. Di ba? I thought
Mm-mm.
it was just rice or parang pinalaki lang na maki. Pero hindi eh, yun nga, you said may mga wakame siya, may the rice, etc. Now, how did the customers, what's their feedback of the salmon cake?
Well, a lot of our customers really enjoyed it. We had this customer that ordered us 3 times in a week for the salmon cake with no celebration at all. They just really wanted. They really liked it so much that they ate it for straight 3 times in a week. But a lot of our clients ordered to give it to their loved ones or friends. To give it as a gift, something different, not your usual cake.
Oo.
So actually, a lot of our customers also buy and then send the food to their friends or their family or
Mm.
their mom. Then
Mm-mm.
they ask us to write a note for them, telling that they remembered because they couldn't go out. So we prepare it and we send it to them.
Oo. And then, kamusta naman? So, actually, it arrived here, okay naman. Medyo natabingi lang siya ng konti. But it's intact. That's why, ang galing nga. Pwede pala talaga itong deliver. And it's a nice box. So, it's really good for food giving, no? Do you have enough supply ba? Or how's the business doing?
Yeah, we have enough supply naman. For now, the business is okay naman siya, steady. We have some days that are peak, like during the weekends. and some days that are just regular days.
Okay. Now, let's talk about sushi bake. Hindi ba to trendy lang yung mga sushi bake? And what do you think? I know you did a lot of sushi bake, no? So ito. I
Mm-mm.
think one and maybe you can tell us your story. I know that most of the seafood comes from your source, no? Kaya na nagsisource directly. So what makes it different, and what do you think of the sushi bake trend?
The sushi bake trend. I still think that it's a it's a little tricky. Sometimes we get like loads of order of sushi bakes, and sometimes it's just not so much. So maybe there's a week that everybody wanted to try it. There's a week that they're baka nasawa na sila. So he made three different flavors for them to try. The first one is our crunchy California. So it's loaded with our premium kani. Actually, we tested a lot of brands of the kani. Some were so mushy, durog sila kaagad. So we used this really good brand that uh, it's really like a premium kani that when you slice into it, you see the strands of kani. It's not really falling apart. So when you bite into it, you get the full taste of the kani, and we put a ridiculous amount of kani also in the bake. So you're just not eating rice, you're eating like ulam also, like the kani. So you get to enjoy it. And I can't hear you.
Sorry, I was saying that's what we like about it. You can really taste the kani. Actually, the seafood that you use in your sushi bake, you can really taste the flavors. Eh.
Yeah, in
Okay,
the
is that the most popular flavor ba?
the crunchy California and the Aburi, a lot of people are also ordering it because it's like a seafood feast. We get scallops, the salmon, and the ebi in every bite. It's like when you dig in, it's on top, it's in the middle, it's on the bottom. So parang masarap siya talaga kasi parang sulit siya, and the taste also. We practiced, we made different batches trying to figure out what works well, and then we finally came up with this. And it's everybody, I think we had quite a good feedback for that.
Okay. Yung ano lang, no? Yung nag-oily lang sa amin yung... Ano ba yung may oil dyan? Ito yung
We
California
actually
roll.
don't we actually don't use oil, but I think for the crunch, sometimes when we're frying the crunch, maybe it's a little bit oily. We can adjust that a little bit.
The crunch on top, then the one on
Yeah,
top.
crunch on top. Yeah. Mm-mm.
Okay. So that's probably it. Pero like, do people order just one sushi bake, or they order a lot, or when do
Uh,
they order sushi bake?
some people order just one because they're like one or two at home, so they couldn't finish it. But some of our clients are like big families; they would order all three or two to go there to their gatherings. Some would order like four. It really depends on how many people are going to eat.
Okay. Um. All right. And then you also have and sa tingin mo yung sushi bake is not faddish lang. Kasi tingin mo it
I think
will
it's a little bit faddish. It's a little bit faddish. I'm not really sure how long it will last, but it's like here to stay for now.
for the during the quarantine, no?
Yeah, in the quarantine. But after that, I don't know. Maybe the
Oo.
taste of the people could change, and there could be a different trend by that time.
Pero why do you think it worked, the sushi bake?
Because it's actually it's quite filling, and also it's like a deconstructed California roll. It's fun to use your spoon, dig into it, put it in a seaweed, and eat it like a taco.
Oo.
Um, it's like masaya siyang gawin eh.
Oo.
People are
Yeah.
attracted to it eh.
Oo. Actually, my kids love it. For
Oh,
them,
thank you so much.
parang ang sarap nila kainin. And then I guess nga, yun nga, your edge is the quality of the seafood. No?
Yeah.
Now, what are your other products? So you also do other raw, di ba? Like this one, just raw salmon and tuna, if they like. Correct.
Yeah, we also have our platters for big parties, or if you have a lot of family, so you could order the bigger one instead of the small trays.
And it is served like this.
Yes, we serve it like that. This is our
And how's it so far
combo
naman?
tuna combo.
How's
Mm.
it? How's it so far? Etong,
It's quite good. A lot of people are ordering that.
okay.
The
For
platters
celebrations.
for, yeah, for celebrating. We had like one in a day. Somebody ordered like 10 platters. So it was I think it was for a party.
Oo. And then they ship it to different address. Ganun ba ang ginagawa?
Yeah, they give it as gifts to their friends. Some would
Ah,
order like some. There was one client who ordered like 10 different kind of products and then shipped to 10 different addresses too. So we had to book 10 riders for that also.
oo. So you accept yung mga ganon. Kasi uso syempre yung mga Zoom parties now, di ba? And then
Mm, yeah.
they shift the food to different locations, di ba? So
Yes.
you accept that.
Yeah, we also accept that. There were some clients who cannot book on their own, so we book for them. But others want to book by themselves, so they send the ride also.
Oo. Wait, let's acknowledge lang yung mga nagko-congratulate sa'yo. Of course, Kenzo Tiongson said, congrats Salmon.HQ.
Thank you.
Uh, Josephine, congrats. Evelyn. So how's it so far? Maybe let's go to your learnings. I know there are a lot of people who still want to do food business during this quarantine period. Um, Maybe can you tell us some of the things that you learned in starting up this business?
It's really quite difficult to do everything by yourself, like planning the menu, sourcing the ingredients, taking inventories of the ingredients for the day, and then for the next day, you have to be on top of it, and then also you have to be very customer service oriented, because every single person is different, and they have a lot of requests, so you have to really think for them also. It's really quite a learning experience. It's still a learning experience daily for us. We sometimes have some unforeseen that we didn't think of, and it just pops up, so we had to be flexible in what to do. So it's if you really are planning to open up your own home-based food, uh, you have to be passionate about it. So, like when you wake up every day, you want to do it. Just go for it.
And how did you market it? I guess after nalaman mo na yung product, you figure out the logistics. You have to market it. How did you guys marketed it during the lockdown and until now? Ano ba yung mga learnings nyo? Did you send it to some influencers? Nag-advertise ba kayo sa Facebook? What did you guys do that you find very effective?
We actually, when we started, we just posted some photos, and then we used the Facebook and IG advertising platform, and then we started to get some orders, but just a few. And then through word of mouth, their friends of friends started posting it. So our orders started picking up from them also. Some influencers also approached us, wanting to try our food. So we sent some of the food to them also to try. And then they gave us actually quite good feedback also.
And how's it naman working with influencers so far? What did you guys find? Did you maybe some tips kasi for other food entrepreneurs, no? How do you work with some influencers?
They actually just request some food to be sent to them so that they can try it. and then they give their reviews about the food. Actually, that's about it. That's what actually happened to us. They just requested.
XD lang lahat. XD lang lahat.
Yes, yes.
Do you choose which one, or kahit sino you just send them if they request properly? What are the things that you look for?
We actually check out also their page. We go through what they're really into, if they're really into food. So when they're really into food and they have this fan base too, we send it to them.
All right. Kamusta naman? What are your plans for Salmon HQ coming into the bear season? It's a bear season na, and I know that there'll be a lot of celebrations. Are you still planning to have new products in the pipeline? What do you have in mind?
Actually, we're for the salmon cake, we're gonna be launching a new variation of that. It's still a salmon cake, but it's gonna be like a naked salmon cake. You'd see the filling, all the filling outside now. The salmon will be on top. So it's
Okay.
but it's gonna be but the quantity of salmon won't be like 600 grams anymore because it's gonna be too heavy. So it's gonna pull the cake down. So but it's gonna cost less too. So
Okay.
we're going into that. We're also I'm also thinking to well, I really want to go into the rolls, but I'm still figuring out how to do it. We're also coming out with some other high end fish, but I'm still trying to work with our imported suppliers on how to bring it in.
Like what? Like hamachi or
Yeah,
what kind of fish?
hamachi. Actually, we launched our otoro and our chutoro. It was
Wow. How was it?
it was quite a good deal, but we had quite a challenge on how to maintain the freshness of the fish. I didn't know that when you process the otoro, it has to be very quickly, and you have to serve it. They have to eat it fast too. You can't just leave the fish. You can't just cut it and leave it for a period of time. Wait for the rider to pick it up. You have to do it just on the spot when the rider's gonna get it, because sometimes when the fish is just there's a little bit of time lapse there, the otoro turns a little bit brown, so it's not that pinkish anymore.
Mm,
It's not
nagme-melt
spoiled.
ba siya? Hindi naman siya nagme-melt.
Hindi siya nagme-melt. It's the otoro is not really melt in your mouth. It's there's some veins in it too. But uh ano siya, mabilis siya mag-turn brownish eh. So really had a hard time controlling the quality of the fish. It's still fresh to eat. You can still eat it. It's still safe, but the color just changes a little bit. So
Mm,
we that was quite a challenge for us too.
okay. But it's still in your menu na or wala?
Right now it's still in our menu, but we just limit the quantity that we get because I really don't want to serve spoiled. I don't want to serve the brownish one, the brownish
Oo.
toro.
Yes. So, where are you shipping it ba? And anong radius yung pinaka-ideal for the Otoro and Chutoro?
Uh, Better if it's just 3 mile radius,
From
not
where?
so far.
Where is your shipping point?
Shipping point is from here in Quezon City. We're in New Manila, and
Okay.
then we actually shipped it as far as Makati. We also have from Las Piñas. It arrived at their place quite good, but from here when we were cutting or slicing it, we were testing how long the fish would last. Sometimes in about a few hours it would turn brown, but it's when we taste it, when we eat it, it's still fresh, but just the color is quite off-putting.
Um, Wait, I'll pull up some of the comments lang. Or congratulations. Ang dami mong mga fans, ha? Or mga friends. Or mga... Crisalyn
Thank you.
said, congratulations. And of course, Maribel said, congratulations. Ainel said, congratulations. Ang dami mong Jasper. Bilyarama. Love the vibes. All right. I guess you build a loyal following on Salmon.HQ. How's it so far? The people who love your product.
We have customers who really order from us 3 times a week. We also have customers that we already know what they would order. That
Mhm.
they would just say hi and said, "Okay, we can have your order ready. We can ship it out already without them even paying yet. We already know what they want."
Alam mo na. May
Yeah.
subscription service ba kayo?
Wala. Ano yung what's that?
Okay. The subscription service, maybe you want to do that na parang because a lot of people love it. So every week naka-program na yung i-deliver sa kanila.
Oh.
And then of course since it's on a subscription service, syempre medyo mura na konti kasi parang subscribers sila eh. And then there are different subscriber service naman could be assorted also. Depends, 'di ba? Parang it's a box that gets to them let's say every Thursday, for example, ganon. And then so that on your end you can control your supply chain, the and then logistics, inventory, ganon. And
Oh,
then on the
I'm gonna
consumer
study
end
that.
naman, check it out. There are some who would do it. Maybe it makes sense for bread. Yung mga sardo, di ba? Kasi
Mm-mm.
readily But this one kasi a lot of Filipinos love talaga the sushi, the sashimi. And I said nga during the during the lockdown, yun yung crave ng lahat ng tao. I guess until now, no? Kasi where do you get fresh tuna and salmon now, di ba? Where do you get
Mm-mm.
it ba? If you can't go to a Japanese restaurant, oo nga. So where do people get it? Parang mahirap eh. They have to
Mm-mm.
buy. Does the supermarket sell it? Parang hindi rin eh, no?
Hindi rin, oo. They
Parang
they
you
sell
cannot get.
frozen also.
Oo, di ba? And then how did you learn how to cut it? Kasi kakat mo pa, di ba? Maybe how did you learn how to cut the
I actually studied a lot of videos on how to do it, and I actually have a ninong who's a Japanese chef in New York, so we also tap them on how to do the fish.
Yun! Yung pala yung sikreto, kaya ba
They're quite
talaga?
famous also there.
Talaga? Can you mention it or hindi? Secret.
Yeah, their restaurant is Sushi Senin. They're in downtown New York, near I think near Wall Street, near the Empire State Building. They have a lot of clients that goes there to enjoy the Japanese food. They're really very good. Their rolls are fantastic.
Okay. So, will the roles be a reality? I guess that's
I'm still figuring it out.
I guess your challenge also is not only the production of it, it's the costing din, di ba?
Yeah,
Whether it will be premium price or sakto lang.
yes. I wanted to give value for money to the product, not so expensive and not too cheap, that you would enjoy it with your family also.
Yeah, galing. And then with sushi bake, are you introducing another variant or that's
Uh,
it na?
We're also thinking about adding a new variant to it, but we're still in the testing process.
Di ba since you guys are premium, why not go after the unagi sushi bake market?
Yeah, we're actually planning the unagi, but sometimes the unagi has a really fishy taste. It
Yes.
also has the parang lasang lupa. So
Mm-mm.
we're still thinking on how to process it that it won't taste you won't get to taste that. So we're still in the works for that.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, kasi I think it would work for your brand at least, no? For
Thank you,
Salmon
thank you.
HQ. And then I know maybe just to wrap up the discussion, I know you guys are from the fashion industry and now you're in starting to get into food. How's it
Yeah.
different and are you loving it or is it harder or ano ba? What are your realization?
Um, Actually, in right now, in the fashion industry, it's really like dead. Now that we ventured into this food business, it's really very difficult. It's not an easy process. There's a lot of things that you have to consider, like spoilage, the inventories. You had to do everything on your own. Also, you had some limited staff also. So it's really a learning experience for us. And also, we had to be on top of everything also, so that when we serve it to our clients, we want it to be fresh. We want it to be a good value. We wanted to give them the experience of dining at their own home, that you enjoy it even if you're just at your own house. Anton, I can't hear you.
Sorry. Huxley said congratulations and then really said congratulations. So
Thank
um thank you. So that's really good. I guess just final words for other food entrepreneurs out there as we get into the bird season. How are you guys? Any advice to them or any? We're still in a pandemic, in a quarantine, and it might get worse. So, any advice for the people for food and chefs out there?
If you really have a good product, you think that your recipe, your food is you want to serve it, you just have to be on top of it. You have to, well, practice, and think how to bring it to the bring it to your customers, bring it to your clients, in a reasonable amount, a reasonable price. And also, uh, let them know how to enjoy the product also.
All right, thank you so much again. We are really impressed with the products with Salmon HQ. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much, Anton,
Congratulations.
for having me.
And I do hope you keep the quality kasi very important, no? Especially it's a raw product. And then we're into healthy things. Yun nga, ang dami nagpapadala, puro cakes, di ba? Well, cakes is actually, aside from Japanese food, is one of the hottest.
Yes.
Ano yan eh, cakes, alcoholic drinks, tapos Japanese food. And then, syempre, sometimes you can only have a few of burnt cheesecake or ubi
Yeah.
cake. Sometimes you
Not
want it
really.
more. Oo, di ba? Sometimes you want it more extra special, and the salmon cake actually is really, really good.
It's very
Um, Oo, very healthy and masarap pa, 'di ba?
thank you.
So, congratulations. Let's acknowledge the last one, Eusebio, and then Marcela. Go. All right.
So
Thank you
much.
so much. And yeah, let us know if you have new products. And we'll be glad to support you guys. Sarap yan eh.
Thank you so much, Anton.
All right. Thank you, Queenie. Bye. Thank you,
Bye.
guys. Bye.